Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of Church Governance Solutions. We are continuing with the same topic that speaks about the character traits of a church leader. And I want to continue with that today and start with a character trait that speaks about a church leader needs not to be greedy for money. A church leader needs not to be greedy for money. And that's a good church character trait, because greediness for money makes somebody to become actually money monger, because you start manipulating people for money. Now, when you are greedy for money, you become out of control when it comes to money. And that is why many people run churches and some get into pastoral work just purely because they are interested in money. And I want to warn you as a church leader that if you come to ministry because of money, you will be disappointed, because you would probably be in the wrong profession. Because the profession of being a preacher man and a pastor and a leader of a church should not be about money. Because when you start to make it money focused, remember that the monies that people give to a ministry or to a church, they are actually public purse. They are public money. They are monies that are there voluntarily because people want to give for the sake of the ministry. And I want to emphasize that when you are a church leader and you are greedy for money, you may end up even ignoring the very same vision and destroy it actually because of money. We have seen there are those that have actually come to sell and trade with the vision, sell and trade with the church. And to an extent that what they are looking for is money and money alone. And they are so obsessed with money to a level that when the ministry is going down, they don't care as long as they get money. And that is why we're having those people that will go even out to go and initiate themselves with wrong altars and for the sake of money, because they want to see money flowing into the church. And this is the greatest temptation, actually, of the modern day church leaders. It's the greatest temptation of the leaders of today, whereby, as I said, people will fly to foreign countries to go and initiate themselves in evil altars, in the altars of the enemy. Because the enemy has actually realized that people are greedy for money. And when you are greedy for money, the enemy will lure you with money, and they will actually initiate you to wrong platforms by telling you that you'll make a lot of money. And a lot of money, yes, you'll make. But you would have sold your soul as a church leader, because you would have actually bought into a wrong and evil altars that will affect you for the rest of your life. There are many that have actually deviated, many that have been actually driven away from the gospel, purely because they are greedy for money. And they're chasing after money to an extent that they're being promised money wherever they are. There are those that are told, even for you to service this particular altar, which is of the enemy, you need to kill your own family members. You need to be killing the people and sacrifice with people. They do human sacrifices, which is diabolic, which are things that are unacceptable by church leaders. But they are done for the sake of making money. Because remember that when you have initiated yourself to evil altars of the enemy, they are going to demand you to pay a price. And sometimes the price that you pay is with your own relatives, your own wife, your own children, that you need to kill in order to sacrifice for this particular altar. And some of church leaders have actually got to extent whereby they've sacrificed with their own lives, because it is actually a price that you need to pay. Because when you sacrifice in an evil altar, it is going to demand you to sacrifice. It is going to demand you to pay the price for that particular altar. And I want to emphasize that a leader of a church should not be greedy for money. Now, some that are greedy for money, we have seen them in abusing their own members. We have seen them lying to their own members in order for their own members to give money. We have seen them milking dry the people of their hard-earned money. Why? Because the leader is greedy for money. And majority of these people that are greedy for money, they're actually using the money for their own pleasure. They are actually living lavish life. They are driving expensive cars. They are staying in expensive homes. They are actually milking their congregants dry financially, and they are living lavish lives. And I want to warn you that as a church leader, don't be greedy for money. Because when you are greedy for money, therefore, you are actually vulnerable, and you are going to manipulate people, as I've said earlier. And you are vulnerable as well to the evil altars that we are speaking about. And there's those that are leading churches. And as church leaders, instead of taking care of the purse of the people, which is the finances of the people, they are actually putting their hands in the cookie jar. And that is actually very dangerous. Because as you do so as a church leader, you're not stealing from the people, but you're stealing from your own vision. So therefore, you're stealing from yourself. And remember also that God has given you your vision, and He has given you this vision to fulfill. And this vision needs finances, but when you're greedy for money, you end up using the money for other purposes, other than the purpose of the ministry, other than the purpose of the vision. So therefore, you will find yourself having squandered the money for your own lavish life and forget that there is still a lot to be done in the kingdom. And that is why we have seen many people that are running churches, and the churches are diminishing by day, and they are not progressing at all. But the pastor himself, lavish life that is living, and is actually flashing expensive cars, as I've said earlier, expensive houses everywhere. Some have bought even hotels as well, and their ministry are still gathering in rented places. Their ministries are still gathering under tents as well, but money is actually flocking into that church every day. We know of pastors that are actually fellowshipping in tents for a very long time, in temporary structures for a very long time, but yet monies are being collected every single month, and those monies are being called building fund. And we have seen churches that have taken years and years without even showing a sign of building. And some ended up not even building, yet they've been collecting money, calling it building fund. But because of the greediness of money, we have seen people actually losing it, and therefore their church is not progressing at all. Now, I want to emphasize that a character trait, again, of a church leader should be gentleness. You must be gentle as a church leader. You must be gentle to the people, approachable as well. Let people be able to associate with you. Be gentle with people when you speak to them. Don't ruffle people up. Don't actually scream at people. Don't actually undermine people. Don't treat people badly. The way you speak to people should actually reflect the way you want to be spoken to yourself. It must be an example of how you would expect people to address you. That's the way you address them. Be gentle in your approach to people. Respect people at all times. Make sure that they're highly respected at the point that they will also respect you as well. So gentleness, it is a character trait for a church leader. Don't be quarrelsome as well. A church leader need not be quarrelsome. Now, quarrelsome people are people that are forever causing conflicts wherever they are. These are the people that are divisive. These are the people that cannot actually be in the midst of people and people never find. I want to say this, that because of your quarrelsomeness, you are going to actually make people to actually run away from you. Because people that are quarrelsome are not friendly enough. People that are quarrelsome are not actually people that somebody can associate with. People that are quarrelsome are people that are not likable at all. So please, as a leader, when you become quarrelsome, you become divisive in nature. And I want to emphasize that even in your church where you are, if you're quarrelsome, people cannot approach you because they are not comfortable with you anymore. People cannot be comfortable with somebody who's quarrelsome. And therefore, please control yourself, control your emotions, and never be quarrelsome at all as a church leader. This is very important. We have seen church leaders that are quarrelsome. They're quarrelsome with their own leadership. They're quarrelsome with their own members. They're quarrelsome with individuals in the church to an extent that nobody becomes comfortable around them, as I've mentioned. So therefore, as a church leader, you cannot be quarrelsome. So please be careful of that. Please never be covetous as well. Because there are church leaders that are covetous, that want everything to be theirs and nothing to be for other people either. This is the leaders that when you speak about cars, they want all the cars for themselves. You speak about houses, they want all the houses for themselves. These are church leaders that are even envying their own members. They are jealous against their own members. If their own member is progressive, particularly if they buy a new car, there is a pastor jealous about it. That is what we call covetousness, because you want everything to be yours and nobody should have anything. Everything that you see, you wish it was yours. And that cannot be a character trait of a church leader. So I want to urge you as a church leader to be able to appreciate other people's successes as well. Encourage them to succeed and pray for them to succeed. And when your own members succeed, it is actually a sign that you are about to succeed as well. It's a sign that you're successful as well. And I want to emphasize that when your own members own business, they own cars, they own houses as well, is actually a blessing to you, because it resembles on you as a father or a mother of the church, that you are not covetous at all. So please appreciate those that have got things, and please appreciate that with them as well. When a member has bought a new car, please appreciate that, and please encourage them as well. So I want to emphasize that it is very important, therefore, that you not become covetous as a church leader. I want to check out just here, but before I check out, I want to make you aware that this was part 4 of this great topic. We will finalize it tomorrow with part 5. But also remember our Facebook platforms, Church Governance Solutions and Micornus Phokane. So please like those pages, and make sure also that you are actually subscribing to our YouTube channel, and make sure that you click notification button there as well, so that you may be notified for every video of a teaching that we post, so that you can be taught and learn out of it. May the good Lord bless you. Allow me right now to say cheers for now.